I remember when I was no more than knee-high, a dream that constantly plagued me. Let's call the being Mr. Shadow, because it's a good name for him. He was a hulking, broad-shouldered, twisted, shadowy figure. He wore what looked like a hoodie and other baggy clothing. Every night I would wake up screaming. My mother would ask while smoothing my hair for comfort, "What's wrong, sweetie?" And I would respond with the words that still send chills down my spine. "It was Mr. Shadow, Mommy. I seen him again." Like all parents, she would shrug it off and tell me there was no such thing. It was just the overactive imagination of a child, she would tell herself. Mr. Shadow would always return despite her best efforts. He stood in my doorway, watching me. Or I would have a dream where he stood in the living room, chanting some strange language. One night, I got scared that my parents found me sitting in their room, rocking back and forth. I sat there. Tears and sweat rolled down my face, and my mother said I was burning up. Quickly, she grabbed the thermometer and put it under my tongue. "My God," she said. Before I knew it, I was snatched up in my dad's arms, and we were out the door. That was the first time I ever visited the emergency room. I had a temperature of 105. After that, Mr. Shadow didn't return for a while, until a few years later. I was sleeping in my bed when I felt something sitting on my chest. When I opened my eyes, there was Mr. Shadow staring at me with that void of a face. His powerful hands reached around my throat and began to squeeze the air from my lungs. I struggled, but there was really no point at all. Now I was only waist high. Then my dad came into the room with the flip of the light switch. "What's going on?" He stopped in the middle of the sentence. "What the hell did you do to your neck?" Shaken, I looked in the mirror. There was large fingerprint bruises on my neck. I tried to tell my dad that it was Mr. Shadow, but he told me, "It's just you kids acting strange these days, hurting yourselves to get attention." He lit a cigarette. "I swear, if you ever try to do something that stupid again, there'll be hell to pay." "Dad, I didn't do this to myself." "I don't want to hear it," he said in his sharp-toned voice. I was diagnosed with asthma after that, and I remember every 5 minutes taking a shot off my inhaler. Doctors did say that it was the most severe case of asthma they had ever seen. The asthma slowly faded away with time, but recently it has come back in full swing. Mr. Shadow is also back, but he stands outside my window, looking in, chanting in his strange tongue.